Life isn't always easy. We all face challenges, setbacks, and losses. It can feel like we're on a roller coaster going up and down with very little control over the ride. We're told to stay positive, to think happy thoughts, and to ignore the harsh realities of life. But what if that's the wrong approach? What if accepting the brutal realities of life is actually the key to living a more peaceful and fulfilling existence? Today, we delve into the 7 brutal realities that will change your perspective on life. Number 1, life isn't always fair. In a world where we often strive for fairness and justice, it's easy to feel discouraged when life throws us curveballs. We witness bad things happening to good people, experience unexpected setbacks, and encounter circumstances that seem unjust. It's natural to question why these things happen and to feel a sense of frustration or even resentment. However, accepting the reality that life isn't always fair is not about giving up or becoming cynical. It's about recognizing that we cannot control everything that happens to us, and that focusing on this aspect will only lead to disappointment and bitterness. Instead, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control: our own thoughts, reactions, and actions. When faced with unfair situations, it's important to remember that we have the power to choose how we respond. We can choose to dwell on the injustice, allowing it to consume us and undermine our happiness, or we can choose to accept the situation and move forward with resilience. Accepting the unfairness of life doesn't mean we condone it or ignore the need for change. Instead, it allows us to focus our energy on constructive actions, such as advocating for justice, supporting those in need, and working towards creating a more equitable world. These situations can be heartbreaking and unfair, but they are also a part of the human experience. By accepting this reality, we can cultivate inner peace and resilience, enabling us to navigate life's challenges with grace and determination. Remember, it's not about changing the world to fit our expectations. It's about adapting to the world as it is and finding the strength to thrive within it. By focusing on what we can control, our own reactions and actions, we can find peace and fulfillment even in the face of life's unfairness. Number 2, change is inevitable. Everything in the universe is constantly changing. This includes our own bodies, the world around us, and the very nature of reality itself. This can be a difficult reality to accept, especially when we're comfortable with the way things are. However, change is inevitable, and resisting it will only lead to frustration and unhappiness. Instead of resisting change, we can choose to embrace it. Change can be both scary and exciting. It can be an opportunity for growth and personal development. It can also lead to new opportunities and experiences. Of course, change can also be difficult and challenging. It can be hard to let go of the familiar and embrace the unknown. However, it's important to remember that change is a natural part of life. It's something that we all have to deal with at some point. Here are some tips for embracing change. Be open-minded. Don't be afraid to try new things and step outside of your comfort zone. Be flexible. Be willing to adapt to new situations and challenges. Be positive. Focus on the positive aspects of change rather than the negative. Be patient. Change takes time. Don't expect things to happen overnight. Embracing change is not always easy, but it's essential for living a happy and fulfilling life. When we accept that change is inevitable, we can open ourselves up to new possibilities and experiences. We can also develop a deeper sense of resilience and adaptability. Here are some examples of positive changes that can result from embracing the inevitable. Starting a new job or career, moving to a new city or country, ending a relationship that is no longer serving you. Overcoming a personal challenge or obstacle change can be scary, but it can also be exciting. It can be an opportunity for growth and personal development. When we embrace change, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and experiences. So don't be afraid of change. Embrace it and let it take you on a journey of self-discovery and personal growth. Number 3, you will make mistakes. Making mistakes is inevitable. We all make them, and that's okay because mistakes are opportunities for growth. No matter who you are, you will make mistakes. It's just part of being human. When we're young, we're constantly making mistakes as we learn and grow. As adults, we might think we're past that, but we're not. We still make mistakes, and that's important. Mistakes are how we learn. We can't learn if we don't make mistakes. When we make a mistake, we're actually learning what we should do differently the next time around. Mistakes are not failures. A failure is when you give up. A mistake is when you learn something from an experience and then keep moving forward. Here are some personal anecdotes or historical examples of learning from mistakes. The inventor Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times before he finally invented the light bulb. The writer J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before she finally found one to publish her book Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. The scientist Albert Einstein was once a struggling student. He didn't learn to read until he was 7 years old and didn't speak until he was 4. If you look back at your own life, you'll probably see that many of your biggest accomplishments came about after you made a mistake. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Just learn from them and keep moving forward. Here are some tips for viewing mistakes as stepping stones rather than setbacks. Change your mindset. Instead of seeing mistakes as setbacks, see them as opportunities to learn. Don't dwell on your mistakes. Learn from them and then move on. Don't be afraid to fail. Everyone fails sometimes. It's part of being successful. Celebrate your successes. When you do something well, take a moment to celebrate your success. Keep trying. Don't give up on your dreams. Just keep trying and learning, and you will eventually reach your goals. Making mistakes is a normal part of life, so don't be afraid to make them. Just learn from them and keep moving forward. Number 4, not everyone will like you. Seeking universal approval is an unrealistic and futile pursuit. It's simply not possible to please everyone, and trying to do so will only lead to frustration and unhappiness. Instead of chasing after everyone's approval, it's far more important to focus on being authentic and living true to yourself. When you're genuine, you'll attract people who appreciate you for who you are, flaws and all. Here are some examples of people who have faced criticism and disapproval. Oprah Winfrey. Despite her immense popularity and success, Oprah has faced criticism for her views on spirituality, relationships, and other topics. Michelle Obama. As First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama was subjected to scrutiny and criticism for her policies, her fashion choices, and even her parenting style. Malala Yousafzai. A Pakistani activist for female education, Malala has been criticized by the Taliban and other extremists for her outspoken views. These individuals have all chosen to focus on their goals and passions, regardless of what others think. They've learned to accept that not everyone will like them, and that's okay. Instead of dwelling on criticism, they've used it as fuel to keep moving forward. They've also learned to appreciate the people who do support them, and they've built strong relationships with those who value their authenticity. Here are some tips for focusing on building meaningful relationships with those who appreciate you. Be yourself. Don't try to be someone you're not. People can spot a fake from a mile away. Find your tribe. Surround yourself with people who share your interests and values. Be respectful of others. Even if you don't agree with someone, you can still be respectful of their opinion. Be a good listener. People appreciate being heard, so take the time to listen to their thoughts and feelings. Be supportive. Be there for your friends and loved ones when they need you. Building meaningful relationships takes time and effort, but it's worth it. When you surround yourself with people who appreciate you, you'll feel more confident, happy, and fulfilled. Remember, you can't please everyone, but you can please yourself. So focus on being authentic and true to yourself. The right people will appreciate you for who you are. Number 5, you will experience loss. Loss is an inevitable part of life. We will all experience it at some point, whether it's the loss of a loved one, a job, a relationship, or a possession. Loss can be a very painful experience. It's normal to feel sadness, grief, anger, and even despair when we lose someone or something that is important to us. It's important to acknowledge the pain and grief associated with loss. Don't try to bottle up your emotions or pretend that you're not hurting. Allow yourself to feel your feelings and grieve in your own way. Everyone grieves differently. There is no right or wrong way to do it. Some people find comfort in talking to friends and family, while others prefer to grieve alone. Some people find solace in religious or spiritual practices, while others find comfort in nature or hobbies. The important thing is to find healthy ways to process and heal from your loss. Don't be afraid to seek professional help if you need it. There are many therapists and counselors who specialize in grief counseling and can help you cope with your loss. Here are some tips for finding healthy ways to process and heal from loss. Talk to someone you trust. Talking about your loss can help you to process your emotions and feel less alone. Write about your loss. Journaling can be a helpful way to express your feelings and make sense of your experience. Take care of yourself physically, eat healthy foods, get enough sleep, and exercise regularly. Do things you enjoy. Make time for activities that bring you joy and help you to relax. Connect with others. Spend time with loved ones and friends who support you. Seek professional help if you need it. A therapist can help you to cope with your loss and develop healthy coping mechanisms. Loss is a difficult experience, but it's something that we all must face at some point. By acknowledging our pain and grief, finding healthy ways to cope, and seeking help when we need it, we can move forward and heal from our losses. Number 6, death is inevitable. Death is inevitable. Accept it. Do not be afraid. Seneca. Death is a common human experience, a natural transition that marks the end of our physical existence. It is a reality that we all must face, yet it often remains a taboo topic, shrouded in fear and uncertainty. While death is inevitable, it is not something to fear. Instead, we should embrace it as a part of life. A reminder to live each day to the fullest. Many cultures and philosophies have embraced death as a natural transition, viewing it as a time of peace and liberation. In some traditions, death is celebrated as a time of reunion with loved ones who have passed on. In Buddhist philosophy, death is seen as a natural part of the cycle of life. Death and rebirth. Buddhists believe that death is not the end, but rather a transformation into another state of being. The Stoics, an ancient school of philosophy, believe that death is not to be feared, but rather accepted as a natural part of life. They taught that we should focus on living each day to the fullest, rather than dwelling on the inevitability of death. In preparation for death, it is important to live a meaningful and fulfilling life. This means pursuing our passions, connecting with loved ones, and making a positive impact on the world. By embracing the reality of death and living each day to the fullest, we can approach the end of our lives with peace and acceptance. We can look back on our lives with no regrets, knowing that we have lived them to the fullest. Here are some tips for living a meaningful and fulfilling life in preparation for death. Follow your passions. Pursue your interests and the things that bring you joy. Connect with loved ones. Nurture your relationships with family and friends. Make a positive impact. Contribute to your community and make a difference in the world. Live in the present moment. Don't dwell on the past or worry about the future. Be grateful for what you have. Appreciate the good things in your life. By following these tips, we can live a life that is worth dying for. We can embrace the reality of death and live each day to the fullest, knowing that we have made the most of our time on this earth. Number 7, you are not in control of everything. We often feel like we're in the driver's seat of our lives, calling the shots and making decisions that shape our destinies. However, the truth is that we have far less control over our lives than we might think. There are many factors that are beyond our control, such as the actions of others, external events like job loss, natural disasters, or illness, the passage of time, our own thoughts and emotions. It's important to acknowledge this reality and let go of the illusion of control. Trying to control everything will only lead to frustration and anxiety. However, this doesn't mean that we're powerless. We still have control over our own thoughts, actions, and reactions. We can choose how we respond to the events in our lives, even if we can't control those events themselves. Here are some tips for letting go of the desire for absolute control. Focus on what you can control. Instead of dwelling on what you can't control, focus on the things you can influence. This could include your attitude, your choices, and your efforts. Accept uncertainty. Uncertainty is a part of life. Get comfortable with not knowing what the future holds. Be flexible, be willing to adapt to change, even when it's unexpected. Let go of perfectionism. Perfection is an unrealistic goal. Strive for progress, not perfection. Practice self-acceptance. Accept yourself for who you are, flaws and all. Letting go of the desire for control is not easy, but it's a necessary step towards a more peaceful and fulfilling life. When we accept that we're not in control of everything, we can relax and let life unfold naturally. We can focus on living in the present moment and making the most of each day. We can also develop a sense of gratitude for the things we do have control over. By embracing this reality, we can open ourselves up to new possibilities and experiences. We can also develop a deeper sense of peace and acceptance. So let go of the illusion of control and embrace the freedom that comes with knowing that you're not in charge of everything. As we conclude our exploration of the 7 brutal realities of life, let us take a moment to reflect on the profound wisdom that Stoicism offers. By embracing these harsh truths, we can unlock a path to a more peaceful, fulfilling, and resilient existence. Accepting the inevitability of change, loss, and death allows us to live in the present moment, savoring each precious breath and cherishing the connections we hold dear. Embracing the fact that we are not in control of everything frees us from the burden of anxiety and empowers us to focus on what we can influence: our thoughts, actions, and reactions. Stoicism teaches us that happiness does not lie in external circumstances, but rather in our inner peace. It guides us to cultivate gratitude for the blessings that surround us, even amidst life's challenges. As we navigate the complexities of life, let us remember the transformative power of Stoic principles. Let us embrace the brutal realities with courage and grace, knowing that they hold the keys to a life of profound meaning and fulfillment. We encourage you to reflect on the realities discussed and apply Stoic principles in your daily life. By embracing these truths, you embark on a journey of self-discovery, resilience, and inner peace. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Stoicism. May you find wisdom and strength in the face of life's challenges, and may you live each day with gratitude and purpose.